In today's video, we're checking out the PRS SE Silver Sky in a Lefty. That's right, the new John Mayer Signature Edition is now finally available in a left-handed configuration. So well done, PRS. It took you long enough. Anyway, this guitar is just on loan from the distributor here in Australia. I don't get to keep it, but PRS were nice enough to reach out to them to send one out to the house here for me to check out and to shoot a video of, and I'm really impressed. Just know this video is not sponsored. I don't get to keep it. No money's changed hands. All thoughts about this will be my own, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. And as always, you're about to hear this in the context of a jam track, and then we'll go over to some isolated tones. Here we go. Let me give you the 30-second tour of this guitar. So it's loaded with 3 single coil pickups, and the great news is they're really well balanced. The in-between positions of both neck and middle and bridge, if we're down over here, also are noiseless, which is fantastic, but you get great tones with this guitar, clean or dirty, and I'll showcase that coming up. We get 1 volume control and 2 tone controls over here, and while these look a little bit on the cheap side, I've had no problems with their usability. You probably see some plastic under here. I haven't taken it all off properly, but yeah, the plastic is very vibrant white, so you'll either like that or you won't. I love the reverse PRS headstock here. We get string through vintage tuners. My only concern here is we don't get chrome ends here. These actual bits here are plastic, so hopefully it's metal under there. I'm not too sure, so it might be worth investigating what their long-term longevity is like, but they feel fine. I just wonder if the threading will eventually go on them, being that they are plastic. If you're a lefty like myself, odds are you're probably sick of picking up guitars with a modern C-neck. This is nice and chunky. It really gives you the vintage feel, and it's not sticky or anything like that like you might find with some of the classic vibes. So it's got more of that satin type of finish. While aesthetically, it's probably not the nicest neck I've ever seen. I have no problems with it in terms of how it feels in the hand. It actually feels really great. We get the bird inlays here and 22 frets, and these are large frets as well, so no problems with bending or playability or anything like that. It feels really good. This guitar comes loaded with 22 large frets, which is fantastic. We also get the really beautiful bird inlays on a rosewood fretboard. This guitar is not only set up really great, but I love what they've done with the tremolo. This is a 2-point trem, so if you want to use the included whammy bar, you can. I love the fact it's kind of almost like hardtail down, and when I do my double stops and bends, it doesn't move. This is exactly how I have to set up all of my other guitars, exactly how this is straight out of the box. So they've done a really great job with the setup. When you want to use the tremolo arm, you can opt to use it, but it's not floating, so even if you break a string, you're not going to have an issue with it going out of tune. All right, let's kick it off with some clean tones. I'm going to start on the neck pickup, and we'll cycle through each of the pickup combinations, and I'll play a range of different stuff so you can get a good sense of what this can do or how it relates to different types of music. Here we go. Over to neck and middle pickups. That quacky sound is pretty sweet. Let us know what you think. Over to middle pickup, which is surprisingly one of my favorite positions on this, at least clean anyway. So let's have a listen to this. It's really percussive. I won't be using a pick. This also will give you that sort of chicken picking sound. So yeah, it's very versatile, and I love just how it feels when you play rhythm guitar with your fingers. Beautiful. Over to bridge and middle pickups together. I'll play some rhythm stuff and then we'll hint at a tune. Here we go. I mean, that's the sound, right? And lastly, over to bridge pickup clean. I'm also going to show you the tone control. So this is with the tone control wide open. Now, if you wind it even just on a hair, so it's down to about 7, it really rolls out the top end. You can hear a huge difference already, and a little bit more, so it's down to about 5. So it's rolled out a lot of tops compared to this. Now, as you can hear, that's very responsive. You don't need to work it much to roll out the right amount of top end. I really dig it. Up next, I want to show you how this can sound with a bit of drive. So I've cranked on a tube screamer on top of that Fender Blues Deluxe tone that you heard before, and we'll cycle through each of the pickups. I'll play the same thing, and then we'll go over to some leads. So this is bridge. Yeah, so there's a few positions here that sound really good. Actually, most of them do. Bridge, for that lead stuff, I absolutely love. The middle pickup is the star of the show here. I really like that. It's got such a gnarly sound. It's really cool. Now, if you're a blues player, you can turn down and get it to clean up. So that's with the volume down, and it cleans up beautifully. If I turn back up in a moment, here we go. I mean, I think that sounds great. Let us know what you think. And lastly, just with a bit more drive now, have a listen to this, and this is also with some delay. That's great. Let's wrap this video up. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this guitar. We're going to start with the pickups. The pickups on this are beautiful. They sound so good. They're some of the best Stratty style pickups I've heard in a long time. They're very well balanced. The in-between sounds are great. So if you like those kind of tones, you can get them. And they also cancel out the hum, which is fantastic. But the bridge and neck pickup, once you start adding a bit of drive, is fantastic. Now, interestingly enough, I find the tone control just a hair too aggressive for me personally, but once you get used to it, not a big deal. The volume control taper is great. So if you like to work the dynamics on the guitar with a bit of dirt, this cleans up beautifully, as you heard in the video. The playability on this is fantastic. You know, when I first saw the neck, I thought, man, it looks a little bit cheap. You can see the joint up near the headstock here, and I thought, you know, it's not a big deal if it plays well, and it plays well, and it feels great in the hand. This neck is a refreshing point of difference from all the modern C necks we get as lefties. And if you're a lefty, you know what I'm talking about. You pick up any other Strat, Tally, it's a modern C neck on the most part, unless you want to spend the big bucks. So it's great that they've put a vintage sort of neck on this guitar. I much prefer this, and it plays really, really well. I have no complaints. Intonation and tuning stability have all been great. I can play up further up the neck, and I can also just really bend the crap out of these strings, and the tuning stability's been right there. I always check my tuning throughout the video, but I was like, hey, it's still in tune. So that's always a good thing. So they got that right. I also love the fact that they've kind of hard-tailed down the tremolo, but you can use the tremolo arm if you want. But when you bend and do all your double stops and stuff, it doesn't move and float around. So if you break a string, it's not going to go flying out of tune. So straight out of the box, this is one of the best setup guitars I've played so far. My only complaint when it comes to the functionality of this guitar long term would be, I wonder how long these tuners are going to last. Now, the tuners themselves are fine. The guitar stays in tune. They're nice sort of vintage tuners, but they've used plastic ends. Now, I don't know if they're metal under there or not. I have no idea about that, but they just look and feel a little bit cheap. I would have much preferred to see just traditional vintage tuners on here with sort of like chrome, you know, ends. It just makes you feel like you've got something that can't break. Now, if they're metal under there, so be it. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I mean, visually the color kind of matches and all that, but it just looks a little odd. But otherwise, man, this is a great Strat. I could absolutely gig with this, use it on the YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, I got to give it back. But if you want to see one on the channel at some point, let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. My name's Shane, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.